Time for a change. Hey, I know everyone's going to ask the question, why the change? Well, we did some self-evaluation. We live in Arizona where the winters are very beautiful. You see all these people with their tops off and stuff like that. Well, tops off, talking about Jeeps and Broncos. Get your mind out of the gutter. So anyway, so what we wanted to do is make it more easily or readily available for us to take our hard top off when the weather permits. So one of two things we wanted to do was, one, we wanted to get one of the top Pro Lift kits that make it easier to raise up, which we did acquire one of those used off Marketplace for a pretty good deal. But also too, we wanted to downsize the roof rack. Let's just be honest. We're not full-time overlanders. We don't have rooftop tent. All we have is our Gazelle tent with the sleeper keeper on it that you've seen before in our earlier videos, which you only need a half rack for that. And the good thing about a half rack is they're easily removable. It's just the 4 clamps. You don't have to dig around up there at those front bolts like you do with the full racks available out in the market. And then we decided, okay, so which one do we want to go with? Well, we love the TrailRax full rack that we had, so we figured why not try their half rack? Because ultimately, we want to keep that same functionality as far as the back half. We like the way the design looks, and to be quite honest, they have really good customer service because we've had to use their customer service with the previous rack. So that's how we ended up getting the one that we got. So stay tuned. Let's show you how we put it on. And I hope you guys have any questions. Please send them in the comments below. We will put an affiliate link in the description in case you want to get one for yourself. All right, guys, hang on. So here's our package. As you can see here, comes pretty standard fare, so to speak. Salt Lake City, Utah. Didn't take long to get here. Made in the USA. All right, now we got it open. As usual, they really do a great job when they package their stuff. You're not going to get much better quality in packaging. They go all out. But anyway, got all your hardware stuff over here. Plates. Your little, I guess for lack of term, better padding that goes under these hooks. These are the hooks that secure the rack to the actual roof. Just like on the large one. The rear ones are the exact same. I'm assuming this is probably the fairing. I don't know what to open up and see. And I'm assuming these is either the fairing. No, this is probably the fairing up here because it's pretty thin. And then this down here is probably your side rails. And of course you have your rails themselves. You have, looks like it's 4. Yeah, 4 altogether. And these are the new style that have the little slot right here. You guys may remember we did a video where we spray painted these to match the color match. As you can see here, the TrailRax logo. Now granted, I probably could clean this and look a little bit better. But we're basically going to put these on the back side of the new ones. This came with a new set of these that aren't unpainted. I'm going to give those to the buyer to the full rack. I would recommend people do this. And we got another video. We can put a link down below for that. Show you how to paint this, color match this. You can get it all. Alright, so we got hardware included. Now this came with some Loctite and looks like T-nut slots and some regular, looks like lock nuts. Whereas over here you have the bolts as well as the washer. Now I want to also go over, there's 3 different sizes of bolts that come in your packet. The small one here, that's for the fairing. The middle one here, that's for the sidebars, which is what goes in down here on the ends where the bars mount. And then these long ones here, this is what's going to go in that clamp that holds it down on the roof rack. This as well as the lock washer, or I'm sorry, lock nut. For our purposes, we are going to put these slots towards the driver's side. And the reasoning is because we will probably be putting our Gazelle tent on that side with our sleeper creepers. So that is something to be mindful of, depending on how you're going to use these, on which ones, if you want those to be facing the top, driver's side, passenger side, you know, however you think you'll use them. So a little dose of Loctite here. I said not a whole lot, just enough to make sure you got in there where it's going to stay. As you'll see here, we started in the back, worked our way up to the front until we got all 4 bars installed. pretty much the same process. And once we're done on this side, we go to the other side, put the other side together, and that completes the majority of your rack itself as far as the overall unit. And then after that, we start working on the fairing. All right, as we move on to the front fairing, we've already done one of these to illustrate, but I want to show you how I put that in. So we basically took one of these T-slots, turned it to where the bevel's facing up. We want to hold it down there, and we're going to put one of the shorter bolts with the washer, a little dab of Loctite, not much. And then we're going to take this and kind of tune up here, and we're going to do this very loosely. You see here how those are barely sticking through. You don't want to go too, you want to have a little bit of slack, because what's going to happen is that we are going to position these and slide them through the slots of the front bar, therefore all the way down. That's how we mount our fairing. All right, well, we tried to get a little creative here, but it backfired. So we were trying to feed these in through the open slots after we mounted that front crossbar. Only problem is the ones on the end down there, they don't line up. So as you'll notice here, we had to unbolt the side bolts here on that bar, so that way we could pull it up and position it, slide that bar back out a little bit, so we can get those T-slots to line up to the holes and push it through. What I would recommend is that you, prior to putting that front bar in place, I would go ahead and loosely put that fairing on, just like you should see here, and then put the front bars in place. That way, it's a lot more easier than what we tried. We tried to be a little creative, but it turned around, backfired on us. But anyway, you can see it here. Slide all the way up. Not sure what most people are doing with theirs, but we could always adjust it back down if needed. So we have the brackets out. These are no particular order right now. You see these two are the outer ones. These are the outer ones. I'm thinking the front ones may be longer. I'll have to go back and look. The instructions will tell us. Then you have the inner ones, and some of those are wider than the other. We got all kinds of little rubbery stuff slipped here that we'll slide on that here momentarily. This thing comes with a card that has a QR code, so you can get your website pulled up. You notice it has instructions for both the full rack and the half rack. So let's see what that says. We go in here and it'll tell you which clamps are which. So that way when you go line it up, and plus everything else that we went over should all be in there as well. It does also talk about the PAX racks, which we already have. So we've already covered that in the previous install. And like I said, we might use it. We probably won't throw it on at first. Some of the basic stuff we've already covered, but here's the main thing, is showing us which ones are which. And we'll use this to figure out which ones go where, get the pads on them. And after that, we'll be ready to mount this thing and check it out. All right, so we covered this more in depth probably in the first video, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You just want to put those in there, get those creases well sealed there. In those creases, you may have to trim some excess off. The smaller pieces go on the inner pieces, and the longer pieces go on the outer pieces. Like I said, it's pretty self-evident, so just want to show you that real quick. All right, after you map out which ones go where, you notice we put our little rubber mats already on here. That's pretty simple and easy to do. We're going to line this up, get our bolt with washer, push through the hole, line it up to that hole. Also use the lock washer on the back side once we get the back plate on. And keep in mind, we're not going to tighten this up right now. We're just putting it on very, very loosely, because once we put it on the roof rack, we will reposition it and clamping those tighten those down to where they're snug and hold the rack down. But for now, we're just showing you guys a quick illustration on how to put them on. All right, guys, here's the finished assembly. We still got to slap it on the truck, of course, but we got all four clamp arms, or whatever you want to call these. We got them all loosely tightened, so that way we can, when we go to put them on, we can adjust them. We just wanted to put this on to show you guys how it's like, or what it looks like in general, before we put them on the truck. All right, I hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, we'd like to highly encourage you all to hit that like and subscribe button. Really helps the channel out, helps the channel grow, helps us beat that YouTube algorithm. We do have a description, a link below, an affiliate code. We've had a good relationship with TrailRax, worked with them for a few years now. Met them over at the Overland West Expo West. They're a great bunch of guys and great customer service, so would highly recommend them.